Welcome to the Duck Dive. We take all the info out there, find the important bits, and break it down for you.
Yep.
Today, we're tackling something really big. The world's largest hackathon, presented by Bolt.
That's right. And we're pulling directly from the source material, the dev post page, the official rules, all the details are there.
So our mission today is basically to give you the inside scoop on this huge AI competition. Who's it for? What are people actually building? And why should you maybe care about this?
Okay, yeah, well, the name itself, world's largest hackathon, it sets a certain expectation, doesn't it?
It really does. And the theme is very clear. Build with AI.
And what jumps out immediately is just the scale. That $1 plus pot prize pool,
Yeah.
that's serious money.
It definitely signals they're looking for some pretty impactful projects.
Right. Big investment usually means big expectations for innovation in AI.
And something we always like to see. No purchase necessary. It doesn't cost you anything to enter or win. It's all about the idea.
Which is great for accessibility. But of course, with prizes like that, you've got official rules, you have to play by them, and submitting means you agree.
So putting it all together, it's this massive, accessible competition, really zeroed in on AI and offering some pretty major rewards.
Exactly. A huge opportunity.
Okay, let's get down to the timeline. If you're thinking about this, you need the dates. Registration starts April 16th, 2025. That's 10:00 a.m. Pacific time.
And it runs for a while, right through June 30th, 2025, ending at 2:00 p.m. Pacific. So you've got a decent window there.
Plenty of time to, get organized.
Then the actual building, the submission period, that starts a bit later, May 30th, 2025, just after midnight Pacific time.
And it closes the same time registration does, June 30th, 2:00 p.m. Pacific.
So there's an overlap. You can be registered and planning before you can actually submit.
Right. Then comes the judging. That's July 7th, 10:00 a.m. Pacific, running through July 22nd, 5:00 p.m. Pacific.
And the big reveal. Winners announced on or around July 26th, 2025, 10:00 a.m. Pacific time.
Definitely dates to put in the calendar if you're interested.
Yeah, it's a clear timeline. Gives everyone a good structure for planning and building.
So who's actually running this thing? The main sponsor is StackBlitz, Inc. They're based in San Francisco.
And the administrator, the folks handling the platform and logistics, that's DevPost, Inc., out of New York.
DevPost is a familiar name in this space, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. They host tons of hackathons. Their involvement adds, a layer of experience, makes it feel very professional.
Okay, eligibility. Who can actually throw their hat in the ring? Seems like they want a lot of people involved.
It looks that way. Individuals, first off, as long as you're the age of majority where you live.
And what about younger folks, students?
Parents or guardians can enter on behalf of students under 18, so young innovators aren't left out.
Good. Teams, too.
Yep, teams of eligible individuals and even organizations, companies, nonprofits, that sort of thing. Different legal structures are okay.
That is flexible. And can one person be on multiple teams?
Actually, yes. The rules state an individual can join several teams or organizations and still submit their own project individually.
Wow, okay. That's interesting.
But if you are part of a team or organization, you need to pick one person, a representative. They handle the official stuff.
Makes sense. But there are always some restrictions, especially for global things like this. Who can't join?
Right. International law comes into play here. There's a specific list of countries where residents or organizations can't participate or get prizes.
Okay, what's on the list?
It includes Brazil, China, Crimea, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Quebec, Russia, Syria, and any other places sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury's OFAC.
So standard stuff for international competitions, unfortunately. Necessary, but might exclude some people.
It often is, yeah. Navigating those global rules is complex.
And then there are the organizers themselves, right? StackBlitz and DevPost folks can't enter.
Exactly. Sponsor, administrator, any other companies paid to help promote or run it, they're out.
And their employees, families.
Yeah. So out. Employees, representatives, agents, their immediate family, anyone in the same household. Standard practice to avoid any hint of bias.
Judges, too.
Judges and their employers. Definitely ineligible. And it extends up and down the chain. Parent companies, subsidiaries, affiliates of any of these excluded groups.
Okay, and there's a catch-all, too.
Yeah, a clause about potential conflicts of interest. If the sponsor or dev post thinks your participation creates one, even if you're not technically on the list, they can rule you ineligible.
Seems comprehensive. They define terms like immediate family, clearly.
They do. The rules lay out definitions for immediate family, household, agents, affiliate, to try and avoid confusion.
All right, so let's say you've checked all that, you're eligible, you're excited. How do you actually sign up?
First step, head to the official website. That's world's largest hackathon.devpost.com.
And look for.
A big Join Hackathon button, usually. Click that. You'll need a DevPost account. Make one if you don't have one, or just log in.
And that DevPost site is where everything happens. Updates, submission.
Pretty much, yeah. It's your central hub.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the building part, you need the tools. Primarily, Bolt.new.
Right, the AI platform. You'll need to agree to their terms, obviously, and get an account.
Yes, crucial point. You need to sign up for a free Bolt.new plan, or if you already use it, your existing account works.
And once you register for the hackathon itself,
They say you'll get an email within about 3 business days with more info, access to extra resources, that kind of thing.
and they mentioned potential extra challenges.
Yeah, challenge requirements and bonus prizes might pop up later. Adds a bit of extra spice, potentially.
Okay, fast forward, you've built something amazing. How do you submit it?
During that submission period we talked about, you go back to the hackathon website on DevPost and fill out the Enter a Submission page completely.
Got it. So the core task,
Mhm.
what exactly are they looking for you to build?
The main thing is it has to be a new application, and it has to primarily use Bolt.new.
Primarily. Does that mean entirely?
Not necessarily could be fully built on it, or just have, a significant chunk based on Bolt.new. The sponsor makes the final call on that.
Okay. And there's a visual requirement too.
Yes, very specific. Your deployed app, the public version, must have a built with Bolt.new badge displayed. They provide guidance on how to add it.
Beyond just using the platform, what makes a submission valid fundamentally?
Well, it has to work. It needs to be installable, run consistently, and actually do what you say it does in your description and demo.
And the new part is key, right?
Absolutely crucial. Must be newly traded after the submission period starts. So, yeah, no dusting off old work.
What about using other tools or data?
That's fine, but you need the rights. If you use third-party APIs, libraries, data, whatever, you have to be authorized to use them in your project.
Okay, let's break down the submission package itself. What exactly do you need to hand over?
All right, the checklist. First, obviously the project itself, built with Bolt.new, meeting those requirements.
Then how do judges see it?
You need a URL, a link to a live, publicly accessible working version of your app.
So they can actually use it.
Exactly. And you need that confirmation of Bolt.new usage. The badge has to be visible there.
Plus the Bolt.new project link itself.
Yes, the specific URL from Bolt.new starting with https://bolt.new.
What about teams?
Teams and organizations need a contribution log. Who did what, when, date, time, contribution for each member shows the collaboration.
Okay. Anything else mandatory?
You need a text description. Explain the features, the functionality, what does it do, how does it work?
Can the video?
Super important. A demo video, under 3 minutes. Needs to show the app working on its target device. Upload it to YouTube, make it public.
And no copyrighted music or logos in the video, right?
Right. Keep it clean. No unauthorized third-party stuff. Oh, and there's an optional bit where you can flag if you want to be considered for those specific challenge or bonus prizes if they announce any.
Okay, that's a detailed list. Now, what if you have multiple ideas? Can you submit more than once?
Good question. Yes, you can. Multiple entries are allowed.
But there's a catch, I bet.
There is.
Yeah.
Each submission has to be unique, substantially different from your other entries, and substantially different is decided by the sponsor and DevPost.
So you can't just tweak the color scheme and submit again.
Exactly. It needs to be a genuinely different project or approach.
Let's talk ownership. You build this cool AI app. Who owns it?
That's usually a big concern. The good news here is you, the entrant, keep your intellectual property rights.
Okay, that's great. But the organizers need some rights, surely.
They do. By entering, you give the sponsor a non-exclusive license, but only for judging purposes, so they can review it, test it.
What about promotion? Can they show off the cool projects?
Yes. The sponsor and DevPost can promote the submissions. They can also use participant names and likenesses for promotion for up to 3 years after the hackathon ends.
And you have to guarantee it's actually your work.
Absolutely. You warrant that it's original, you own it fully, and it doesn't violate anyone else's IP rights.
What if you build on open source code?
That's allowed, but you have to follow the open source license terms, and your project needs to significantly enhance or build upon that code, not just repackage it.
And one more restriction. No projects that got special help from StackBlitz or DevPost beforehand?
Correct. If they gave you funding or preferential support specifically for this project before the submission period ended, it's not eligible. Keeps the playing field level.
Okay, makes sense. Let's shift to judging. How does that work? Who decides?
It's a panel of judges picked by the sponsor, StackBlitz. Could be their employees, could be outside experts. The panel might even change during the process.
And it's done in stages.
2 stages, yes. Stage 1 is like a filter. It's pass-fail.
What are they checking in stage 1?
Basic viability, does it run? Does it fit the AI theme, at least reasonably? And did they actually use Bolt.new in a meaningful way? Pretty straightforward checks.
So if you pass that initial hurdle,
Then you move to stage 2. This is where the detailed scoring happens, based on 4 criteria. And they're all weighted equally.
okay, what's the first criterion?
Potential impact. They're looking at how meaningful the problem you're solving is. How effective is your solution? Does it have reach? Could it go viral?
So big picture thinking.
Definitely. Second is quality of the idea. This is about creativity, uniqueness. Is it really novel? How much does it improve on what's already out there?
Makes sense.
Third,
Technological.
technological implementation. This dives into the tech side. Quality of the code, the development. How well did you use Bolt.new? Was it an interesting or advanced use? How's the infrastructure?
So technical chops matter. And the last one.
Number 4 is design. This is user experience. Is it intuitive, easy to use? Is there a good balance between the front-end look and feel and the back-end power?
Impact, idea quality, tech implementation, design. Equally weighted. What if there's a tie?
They have a tiebreaker process. They go back through those 4 criteria scores, starting with potential impact. If still tied, they look at quality of the idea, then tech implementation, then design.
And if it's still tied after all that,
Then the judging panel votes to break the tie.
seems fair enough. Okay, the exciting part. Prizes. What can people win? We know it's over $1 million total.
Right. The specifics, how that's broken down, what the individual prizes are, will be announced before the submission period starts. So you'll need to keep an eye on the DevPost page for that update.
Good tip. Can winners, give their prize away?
No, prizes are non-transferable, but the sponsor can substitute a prize for something else of equal or greater value if they need to.
And is it guaranteed they'll award all prizes?
Not strictly guaranteed. They reserve the right not to award prizes if they feel no submissions meet the standards or eligibility requirements. Unlikely with this scale, but possible.
And winning isn't quite the end, right? There's verification.
Correct. Potential winners have to be verified. Confirm identity, eligibility, role in the project. Usually involves signing affidavits, things like that.
How are prizes actually delivered?
To the individual winner, or if it's a team or org, to their designated representative.
And if a team wins, who splits the money?
That's up to the team's representative. They're responsible for dividing it according to whatever agreement the team has. The sponsor pays the rep.
How quickly does the money arrive?
Once they get all the required forms back, completed correctly, they aim to disperse monetary prizes within about 10 business days. But you have to get those forms in on time.
And taxes, fees.
Ah, yes, the important fine print. Winners handle all costs related to getting the prize bank fees, currency exchange, whatever. And crucially, winners are solely responsible for all taxes, federal, state, local, wherever you are.
Might involve tax forms for withholding, too.
Could do, yeah. Depending on the winner's location and the prize amount, things like W-9s or W-8BMs might be needed. Standard procedure for large prizes.
Okay, let's try and wrap this up. Summarizing this deep dive.
Okay.
The world's largest hackathon by Bolt is, well, huge. Global, AI-focused, big money.
Yeah, and notably accessible. No entry fee is a big plus. Open to individuals, teams, organizations, with clear rules, clear timeline, and that core focus on building new stuff with Bolt.new.
What really strikes you as exciting about it?
I think it's that combination of scale and the push for genuine novelty. They're not just asking for apps, they're asking for new, impactful AI apps. The judging criteria really emphasize that. Plus, just the opportunity it gives creators worldwide is pretty amazing.
Yeah, for you, the listener, this seems like a really cool chance. You get to play with advanced AI tools, maybe build something that actually matters, and compete globally. And that prize pool doesn't hurt motivation either.
It definitely doesn't.
So here's something to think about. They're really pushing for new applications, and potential impact is a major judging point. What kind of innovative AI project do you think could really stand out in a competition this big? If you were entering, what problem would you try to tackle with AI?
That's a great question to mull over. What gap could AI fill right now?
Exactly. So if we've piqued your interest, definitely go check out the official DevPost page. All the details, the rules, future updates on prizes, it'll all be there. Just search World's Largest Hackathon presented by Bolt on DevPost.
Yeah, definitely worth a look. Happy building if you decide to jump in.